Younger Democrats are launching primary challenges across the country, some calling for a top-to-bottom party rebrand as the party works to find its way forward after the 2024 losses. Here now, Brett Cooper. She is the host of The Brett Cooper Show and a Fox News contributor. It's great to have you on America's Newsroom. Some headlines that caught my attention. The AP that Young Democrats have called for a rebrand. They're trying to replace the party's old guard. The New York Times say the Younger Democrats are sick of the party status quo. And then back on this Arizona race, Democrats face another split over age and values in Arizona. You're a younger conservative person, and when you look over across the aisle, what do you think they're doing right or wrong when it comes to getting younger people to have more of a say in the party?
I mean, I think one of the things that they've accidentally done right is infuriating young people, because Gen Z, as we know, they are very emotional, especially on the left. They want to be involved. They have been the activists driving a lot of what we've seen on social media, literally protesting in the streets over the last 5 or 6 years. So I think by pissing them off, really, and screwing up the last election for the Democrats, I think that they've gotten a lot of younger people engaged. And I think we've seen this on the right, of course, that young people want to be involved more, that we want people to actually be representing us. We want to get the establishment Republicans out of our government. And I think that the same goes for the left. We're kind of dealing with two sides of the same coin here. So I'm not surprised at all that they have jumped in and are trying to flip the script for their own party.
After any election loss, there's a period of, oh gosh, what are we doing? Where are we going? President Obama was asked about this at a private fundraiser. Here's his advice. It says it's going to require a little bit less navel gazing and a little less whining and being in fetal positions, and it's going to require Democrats to just toughen up. I, on the Five last night, said, I don't know if it's just toughening up. I mean, they're cursing everywhere. They're asking to get shot at ICE protests. So I don't know if it's about that, but ideas. And could somebody like this young woman in Arizona who's on TikTok, if she had ideas, is that something that could at least give her a lifeline to try to win this election?
I'm sure it could. Social media is an incredibly powerful vehicle. And I think people on the left have been using social media and they have tried to mobilize it, but it has been done with like Kamala's TikTok page and that sort of thing. And we haven't really seen it with the younger candidates. So I'd be really interested to see how it actually works for them. One thing that was really interesting in that first AP article that you popped up on the screen where they were talking about these new young Democrats coming in is they said actually something very similar to what Obama said. And they said, it's time to start actually having solutions and to stop whining about what Republicans are doing and actually try to compete with them. And I think that they saw what really worked with Trump. They saw what really worked with J.D. Vance, of having authentic leaders who are speaking directly to the people, who are big on social media, but actually feel like they're, speaking directly to the public rather than just having a comms team run everything, which I think was so valuable with Trump and Vance. So I think it's very obvious that they have learned from their loss in 2024, and they're really trying to be different. And hopefully that means, more solutions for them and less just screaming and protesting in the streets.
One last quick question. We were just talking earlier this hour about Mamdani in New York, but really overall, not just an affordability issue here in New York City, but across the country. Do you feel like Republicans are hitting the marks on that?
I think that we can do better. I think that was such a huge issue for voters in the last election. And I think that that is something that we just we need to continually drive home. That's something that we all face every single day, no matter how old you are. But it's something that Gen Z is really concerned about, especially as we are diving into the workforce. We're wanting to start families. We want to buy homes. And so Republicans need to stay on that, because when Mamdani and these other leaders that are running for office, when they're talking about let's, make everything more affordable and everything is going to be free, we need to be able to combat that with our own real solutions that will actually drive down prices and make things more affordable for the younger generation.
All right, Brett Henry, Brett Cooper. I was thinking I know somebody named Brett Henry. I don't know why that came into my mind, but I was going to say it's great to have you on America's Newsroom. We hope to have you back again, and wonderful to have you as a Fox News contributor as well. Congratulations on that. We'll be seeing you soon.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.